Over $100 million were liquidated in a single Bitcoin trade, along with many other news items about the ECB interest rate cuts and the IPO of the stablecoin operator. All this and much more in the video. Hey, welcome to Crypto Owl. I just wanted to make a quick video. I'll try to keep it short and give you an update on what's happening right now. There were quite a few news items and things happening today, so let's start right away with the market update, so we're all talking about the same prices. And the market update, well, it's looking interesting right now because this green line, it's going to be important later in this video. We'll get to that in a moment. In any case, we'll see if we go upstairs around 2 o'clock. Green candle, yes, the Bitcoin chart went up and then it went down here. Why and how come? Let's take a look at that right now. It's pretty similar with the other cryptocurrencies. They're basically making the same moves, so to speak. It looks very similar with the S&P 500 as well. The green candle here wasn't related to all of this yet, but the S&P 500 started off negative at first. Very important, the Coinbase stock started off positive. We can take a look at the 5-minute chart. You can see it there. Started off positive and then was sold off as well. Yes, and now let's take a look at what the reason for all this is. But here in the hourly chart, it's quite interesting. First, the big green candle. Why and how come? That could be explained, and you have to be a bit careful here because there are some news items you need to pay attention to right now regarding the start of the IPO in the US. First of all, we started off with the news before the US stocks began trading, and that could have been what triggered the green candle in the Bitcoin price, namely the ECB, the European Central Bank, lowering the key interest rate by 25 basis points. 25 basis points translates to 0.25%, meaning from 2.25% down to 2.00%. This is their 8th rate cut. That's incredible. And with that, interest rates in Europe are now at their lowest level since the beginning of 2023. And what's really interesting is that German inflation is at 2.1%, and now the key interest rate is actually below that at 2.0%. Unbelievable. And that could very well have been a trigger for this green candle here because it happened exactly during that hour. At the same time, though, another piece of news came out during that hour, a glimmer of hope in the trade war. According to Chinese media, Donald Trump is requesting a phone call with the head of China, Xi, that is the president of China. And all of this happened after it became known that the US trade deficit was halved in April as imports collapsed due to Trump's tariffs. That means there were fewer imports, and the trade deficit, that is, the difference between imports and exports, or what is produced domestically, was cut in half. So that means 50% fewer imports. That means people had to provide for themselves here, whether they could do that and whether prices increased. We'll have to wait and see once the inflation numbers come out a bit later. But now supposedly there are too few imports and they would like a bit more. At least that's what the Chinese media are continuing to report. But I don't think so. It was said that they wanted to have a phone call this week, but apparently that hasn't happened. So, to be honest, we'll just have to wait and see how things develop. In any case, we're seeing this green candle here, at least in response to these news items. Trump requests a call with Xi, and the ECB lowers the key interest rate. Normally, when the ECB lowers the key interest rate, it doesn't really matter here. We can take a look at the euro to dollar exchange rate, which also reacted, though a bit delayed. That means the dollar rate just dropped. So the dollar rate is falling. Stocks are reacting as well. They're also dropping here. As we can see here with the Coinbase stock, it actually started off positively because of the cycle IPO. We'll get to that in a moment. And now there's a sell-off here and Bitcoin is dropping along with it. At the same time, the euro to dollar exchange rate is rising, which is bad for people who want to cash out. That is, those who want to convert dollars to euros, but it's good for people who want to move from euros into dollars, for example, to buy stable coins on exchanges. So you see, everything always has its flip side or its downsides. For some, it's good because they say, look, I have euros sitting here and I really want to buy crypto. So if you move into stable coins now, you'll get more for your money. Others who might say, no, I have stable coins here and I want to convert them into dollars, will say, no, that's worse now. At the same time, the dollar is a very important topic right now. The DXY, meaning the dollar against everything else, is currently dropping or has dropped. This has also pushed stock prices down. It remains interesting to keep an eye on all of this. Often these drops could be seen at the start of the trading day, and these declines then cause stocks to react negatively as well. After I spoke with my partner Tangem on the phone, I learned that around 80% of all crypto wallet owners don't even have a hardware wallet. That's why I'm mentioning this again, since it's relevant right now. Until July 16th, there's a 20% discount with a partner code, specifically CryptoYule, on Tangem hardware wallets. Check out this simple Tangem hardware wallet. It can be set up in just 3 to 5 minutes. You'll be secure, and there are a lot of offers available here. Whether you have the ring, meaning everything here on the ring, or if you want a family pack for multiple wallets, you can take advantage of these offers as well. Because not only is there a 20% discount, but various wallets are also currently on sale, like the Pizza Day wallet or the Winter Edition. I've had them sent to me and I'll unbox them with you soon. In any case, you can get a 20% discount with the code CryptoYule. That's only until June 16th. After that, it's just 10%. So go check it out. And if you want to save even more, maybe go for the Pizza Day wallet or the Winter Edition here. I think it looks really nice too. I have it here as well. 47 euros. If you want to protect it even more, you can add a card case. Save 20%, and with the Tangem ring, it's really worth it. So check out the simple and secure Tangem hardware wallet, which you can always carry around with you. Only until June 16th, 20% off. Let's get to the main topic of the video and this green line that I've drawn here. It actually has something quite special to tell us. There's a person who's fairly well known in the crypto space, because right now he's doing some really crazy things, and that's James Ryan. James Ryan is a hardcore Bitcoin long trader. He goes long on Bitcoin with large amounts, and he's done it again this time. He keeps posting pictures and says that he's almost getting liquidated because his liquidation price is at 104,035. If we now go to TradingView, I've drawn a line at 104,031, a bit below, and we can see the Bitcoin price right here. It was at 103,928. That means it dropped. So, was he liquidated? That's a big topic right now. In fact, last night he already had his trade, or at least part of his trade, liquidated, specifically 240 Bitcoin. Just imagine losing 240 Bitcoin just because you say, now it's taking off, now it's starting. Even though the summer lull is actually just around the corner, if it really turns out to be one, that's a very risky trade. He was long on Bitcoin and lost 240 Bitcoin here. Converted, that's $25.16 million that were liquidated. His trade still holds 770 Bitcoin, which is $80.5 million, with a liquidation price, as I just mentioned, of $104,035. That's when Bitcoin just dropped. It's still very quiet right now, but I'm very curious. Something else is bound to happen because he already wrote, after coming very close to his liquidation price here, I lost my mind in this game like Vincent van Gogh. He dedicated his life to art and lost his mind in the process. The same happened to me, but screw it. Yeah, you know what that means. He says, damn, is that so? Screw it. And then comes the liquidation. Yeah, and of course, the whole thing made the rounds on the analysis sites as well. $100 million long and only $70 million left until liquidation. That's exactly what I just said. Almost 25 million were not liquidated. He still has 80 million left. It's simply because of the amount he put in here. But we're talking about a $100 million bet on Bitcoin long. Yeah, so far he's made a profit of $60,000 from all his trades. So he's not really successful. That's what it looks like, and he's actually active right now if we refresh the page. He just transferred some funds back and forth here, specifically some USDC. Something came in from the Binance wallet. So it arrived in his wallet, and then from his wallet it went to Hyperliquid. So I'm curious to see if he'll support his trade here. We also see that he not only trades Bitcoin, but he is also active here a bit with ETH, but mainly here with stablecoins. We can see that here. So his wallet currently has only $7 million. Yeah, let's be honest, that was a pretty bold bet. Can you imagine if you had that much Bitcoin just going $100 million long on Bitcoin and then bad news comes out and everything drops? I think that would really hurt, wouldn't it? If you're now saying you want to own that much Bitcoin too, then check out the Blowfin exchange. They've got a cool promotion going on right now where you can buy Bitcoin for a reduced price, currently $104,099, so even a bit less than what TradingView shows. Here, you can buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. 20% cashback at Blowfin, so buy and trade cryptocurrency at Blowfin, whether in your browser or in their own app. By signing up with Blowfin, you get access to over 500 cryptocurrencies on spot and another 800 through futures trading. You can even try copy trading or trading bots here, and even test yourself with demo trading to see if you can make profits. Blowfin and CryptoOol are celebrating a partnership, and this is being marked with 20% cashback on your first deposit. This is limited to $500 and only for the first users until May 31st. So signing up and making a deposit could be doubly rewarding here. Depositing euros and receiving cryptocurrencies is very easy with their partners, such as Simplex and other currencies are also available here. In addition to their reward hub, where you can earn extra rewards, you can also generate passive income in the earn section, either flexibly or locked in, for example, for 180 days, such as here 2.56% on USDT. Check out the fastest growing crypto exchange of the past 3 years and get an additional 20% cashback. Remember, this offer is limited. Then there was also this big event today, which is why Coinbase stock started off positively. The IPO, that is the stock market launch of Circle. And Circle kicked off with an impressive IPO valued at $1.05 billion US. Many rounded it up to 1.1, but the correct figure is 1.05. I think 3-something billion, something like that. In any case, it's pretty wild because this IPO caused quite a stir. The CRCL stock was launched and was actually supposed to be sold for $27 to $28, but demand was 25 times higher than expected. And in the end, it was sold at a starting price of $31. The IPO is today. They've also posted about it here and of course are celebrating the whole thing. Circle is now live with this stock, CRCL. There isn't any data available at this very moment. That will be provided a bit later, meaning the stock data and also the first chart. It'll take a little while longer. In any case, some big names have gotten involved here, like Cathie Wood from ARK. And ARK has even invested $150 million US, and of course BlackRock has also joined in. Hello, the world's largest asset manager. Of course, they're getting involved in such a major new stock. Circle, for those who don't know, is the issuer of USDC, but not just USDC, also the Euro stablecoin. They've got quite a few of those by now. I think they even have a gold stablecoin. So Circle has several stablecoins up and running here on the blockchain side. And that's a cool thing that they now have their own stock and are even in such high demand. Right before this IPO started, so when the stock went public, another piece of news came in, this time about Casper and the stablecoin Circle, or rather USDC, the stablecoin. Circle had been in talks with Casper. That wasn't a secret. It was known that something was happening there. And yes, now there's this image from Casmedia and it says yes. It remains to be seen where all of this is headed. I'm very curious, but it really looks like, and that's also how the conversations went, at least from what people in the community have heard, that the stablecoin USDC will soon be seen on the Casper blockchain, whether as a stablecoin on layer 1 or later as a KC20 token on layer 2. That way, there would also be a stablecoin, so for example, on Casplex, you could trade stablecoins as KC20 tokens, or deposit stablecoins and then trade here. The whole thing will probably also work with bridges so that you can trade USDC over from other blockchains. Wow, what information, right? So I wanted to keep it a bit short today. In any case, we see that the ECB is lowering the key interest rate for the 8th time in a row. That's crazy. 8th time in a row. I have to get used to that now. I was just about to say 7. It was 7 times. Now it's the 8th time. And the whole thing is positive and could also stimulate house and car sales again in Germany or Europe and could have a positive effect by leading to more sales overall. I'm very curious to see how this all develops. Write in the comments what you think about it. And is JXY now completely liquidated? I don't know. Let's take a quick look at the end of the video. Did he write anything else? Money isn't real. Bitcoin isn't real. Yeah, he's cursing. Take a look at this. They target my exact liquidation price. It's crazy. It's so crazy. He lowered it a bit. Just look at that. Reduced it to 103,859. He's a crazy guy. He's insane. If you look, he's really active. He writes something here every few minutes, and of course everyone is watching because it's a wild situation. And now he says Bitcoin isn't real. This doesn't look good for him, my friends. Write in the comments what you think about such crazy bets. I'm really curious, but we'll definitely be hearing more from him because he says himself that he's a Bitcoin maxi. And then he writes, Bitcoin isn't real. Like I said, there are plenty of strange characters in this space. With that, I want to say thank you for watching and see you in the next video.